Aloha and good afternoon. Welcome to Maui Nonprofit Notes, where we talk story with Maui's nonprofit executive directors and staff to find out how they're working to support the needs of Maui's community. We're sponsored by Pacific Source, Maui's best source for building materials, with a cabinet and showroom appliance. With a cabinet and appliance showroom open to the public. It's going to be a good day today.
It will.
They're located in the Waikapu Bayshard. I'm Susie Tiemann, Interim Executive Director of Lokahi Pacific and President of the Maui Nonprofit Directors. I'm happy to introduce my co-host for today's show, Max Tornai of Mediation Services of Maui.
Yes. How are you today, Susie?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Today, during this hour, we'll be sharing the experiences of how nonprofit community leaders and their agencies work to benefit our beautiful island home, with stories of how their agencies are changing lives, changing communities, and creating miracles of hope. And today on our show, we have Lox Abraham from Maui United Way.
Good afternoon, Susie and Max.
Hey, Lox.
So nice to be on the other side of the table.
Yeah, last week you were over here right at my side, yes.
Just switching things up a little bit.
Yeah. Happy to be a guest today.
Great. And we also have Colleen O'Shea Wallace from Mental Health America of Hawaii, Maui branch.
Hi.
Hi,
Nice
welcome.
to have you back too, Colleen.
Okay, well, we're going to start off with Lox, because she says she just has so much to talk about. Oh, Lox always
I
has so
always
much.
have lots to talk about. Usually you can't get me to shut up.
If she's not talking, she's not feeling good.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the case,
You
yeah.
know me pretty well. Yes.
So what's up over at Maui United Way?
Well, we've got a lot going on as usual. We are in the midst of wrapping up our 2011-12 campaign, which ended right about April 30th. That's our cutoff date for collecting funds. And the good news is, and I haven't said this to anybody really yet, but we have exceeded our goal. Our goal was to hit $1 million this year, which is fantastic. And we've exceeded our goal, and we're looking to hit probably close to 1.1. Our accountants are working out the numbers right now, so we should know within another week.
And that's 1.1 million.
$1.1 million.
Wow, good job. I feel like we should have an applause button.
I wish we did, because I really feel like it is a major accomplishment for us. It's been such a tough year. A tough couple of years, actually. The last couple of years, we're coming off of last year being the worst campaign we've ever had in as far back as I can remember.
Wow.
I've been with the organization now about 13 years, and it was the lowest campaign. We hit just over 900,000 last year.
Wow, so not only that, but you added a lot of new agencies that you were supporting that year.
Yes. In the last couple of years, we've been in a lot of transition. Early on when the recession hit, our board realized that we needed to change things up a little bit to be more competitive in the fundraising realm, because the bottom line is that there's a lot more agencies out there. There's a lot more foundations now. Money is a lot more competitive as far as looking for funding. So we really had to find a way to show our donors that United Way is the best way to give back to your community. Mm-hmm. And in doing so, part of that process involved redoing our allocation process. And one of the biggest things that we saw nationwide, not just here in Hawaii, but nationwide, donors wanted to be more directly connected to outcomes. They want to see exactly how their money is making a difference. They don't want to just give to an organization anymore. They want to give to something that they're passionate about and they believe in, and something they can measure.
Right. I mean, that just makes sense.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the trend for all nonprofits, and kind of, I think, representative of the new generations that are coming into the fundraising picture now, too. So basically what we did in alignment with United Way Worldwide is we changed the way that we fund, which means that now we fund our agencies programmatically. So anytime you give to United Way, your money is going to a specific program to address a specific need in our community. And that doesn't mean that, as executive directors, we all know that you need operational costs to make your organization work. Mm-hmm. That's a given, and we recognize that. So what we do is we fund operational costs that are directly connected to program. So as long as you can show us a direct correlation between your need for funding and the program, and show that they're connected in some way, shape, or form, then that we'll be open to funding that program.
Which is great, because a lot of the smaller foundations don't support operational costs. It's just simply program funding.
For a lot of our partners, actually, we have 34 different partner agencies that we work with. And for a lot of our partners, we're one of the only options they have for operational costs. So we didn't want to take that away, but we wanted to do a better job of connecting our donors to how their money's making a difference. So now when you give to United Way, you know specifically which programs you're giving to, exactly what programs are addressing what needs in our community. And it's just a lot more transparent. And you're going to see that with the reporting efforts that you see coming out with United Way, as far as, on our website and the information that we put out. We're going to be telling you exactly how many people are served, exactly how they were served, exactly how that program's performing. That kind of information will be a lot more accessible to our donors.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
And you said 34 agencies?
We have 34 agencies that we work with and 36 programs that we fund.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that 1.1 million less cost.
Exactly. When you break it down, it doesn't, there's never enough money. I mean, that's the bottom line. Even when we were raising $1.3 million, it's never enough. And what we tell a lot of our partner agencies is that we want you to utilize our funding source as your last stop. Like, there's nowhere else that you can find the funding. No one else has that type of funding available, and you kind of just need it to fill that gap or to make that program happen. And we ask this of a lot of our agencies: can this program exist without Maui United Way funding? And if it can, we may not be the right funder for you. But if it can't, that's what we're all about. We're about making sure that those vital programs in our community that need to be here are able to exist, as far as, being able to find funding to make them happen. So that's kind of what we look at when we go through the allocation process.
So what would some of those 34 agencies be? I know I don't want to have you rattle off every single one of them, but I mean, just,
I need a few minutes to actually write them all down. But we have a large mixture. We work with agencies such as Women Helping Women, Maui Adult Daycare, with the Kupuna, Maui YMCA for health issues, Community Clinic of Maui, Maui AIDS Foundation, Mediation Services, Mental Health of America, two of our partners that are in the studio with us today. A large variety of different programs that are addressed under the impact areas of education, income, and health. So if you have a program that addresses anything to do with education, income, and health, education being around youth education and development, health being around anything to help somebody live a healthier lifestyle, and income being around self-sustainability and helping people be financially secure. Anything around those areas, then you can come in and apply for Maui United Way funding.
Yeah, and just the ones that you named already cover a broad spectrum of services that the community really does depend on.
Yeah, when we evaluated how many people were touched by United Way programs last year, our number came out to close to about 63,000 people were touched by United Way and our partner agencies in the last year. So, that's one of the things about United Way. When you give to United Way, you're not just giving to one individual agency. And I say this all the time, and I'll say it again. If you have a special agency out there that you're passionate about and you care about, keep giving to that agency. But if you don't know quite where to put your money and you want to make a difference and you want to help your community and you want to make the biggest impact possible, when you give to United Way, you're not just giving to one organization, you're giving to 36 different programs that are helping a vast amount of people in our community. And on top of that, you can rest assured that United Way is going to continue to monitor those programs to make sure that they're functioning in an efficient and effective manner. So to us, that's what we're selling to the public. When you give to United Way, we're making sure that your dollar is making as much of a difference as possible.
As it possibly can. Yeah.
It's too bad she has no passion for what she does. Isn't it?
Isn't it, though?
Talk about a pep talk. I'm sitting here just going...
She's like, I'm ready to write a check.
I know. Let me just dump out my wallet right here. Take it. Just take it. Take what little is in there.
Yeah, I was going to say, forget the wallet. That's... but that... I guess the thing to me is that the volunteers that it takes to make this happen.
An amazing amount of volunteers. Every year we work with close to about 500 different volunteers. And a bulk of those volunteers are our employee coordinators. And these are coordinators that we work with about 350 different businesses here on Maui that participate in our employee campaign. And we work hand in hand with a coordinator at each one of these companies to roll out a campaign at every employee's place of work. And we would not be able to do what we do without those employees and those employee gifts. Those are huge for United Way. And for those of you who aren't familiar with United Way, one of our biggest appeals is that we work with a lot of employers to do payroll deduction giving, which, for you and I makes giving a lot easier on the wallet for most of us.
Yeah.
In retrospect of pulling out $100 from your pocket and giving it to an organization, if you can give $5 a paycheck, at the end of the year, you're giving about $120 to a cause. And, you can have a substantial impact in your community without having to strain your wallet too much.
So if there were businesses out there that wanted to get involved in something like that, how do they
and it's been tough. I'll be honest. It's been really tough the last couple years getting new businesses excited about participating in United Way. Because the bottom line is when we're going through a recession and people are laying people off and there's no raises going on, it's a tough time to be working with employees. Employers are a lot less willing to bring in more asking, from their employees. But we have seen the bounce back. I want to say I feel like we've took the turn and we're heading back in the right direction as far as our economy is concerned. I think that's evident in our campaign this year, finally taking a step up back in the right direction. But it's tough, if there are employers out there that are interested in giving back to their community. I just want to say that it's not hard to get involved with United Way. We make it very, very easy. All you have to do is say yes, that you want to participate. And what we do is we drop off a campaign packet, and we usually have you designate one person from your organization who is responsible for giving out the pledge cards and collecting them back. And that's really as easy as it can be, or it can be even more. You can get more involved and make it a little bit more complicated if you want it to be. But really, we just need somebody to distribute the pledge cards to their employees and give them the option. And then we offer, to every business that we work with, we offer to come in and do a presentation. And we can do anything from 5 minutes to an hour, whatever time you're willing to give us, we'll be able to fill. And what we do recommend to a lot of the employers that we work with is bring us in. Let us talk to your employees.
Yeah.
Let us tell them about what it is that we do. Because we find that a lot of people in the community, they know that United Way is around. They've heard of United Way. It's recognizable. But when you ask them, what does United Way do? They are like, they do a lot of good here. They don't quite understand what it is and how it is that we help.
And how important United Way really is to the organizations that provide these services.
Yeah, because not a lot of people don't realize it, but as we talked about before, for a lot of these organizations, we are their last hope for funding. And and going back to the employer, basically we come in, we'll do the presentation, we'll do the pitch, we'll tell your employees exactly how it is that we help communities and how we help people in our community and make differences in people's lives. And we generally bring in probably one of our agencies. We may bring Max or Colleen to come in and talk a little bit about their organization. But I tell you, by the time we're done talking and by the time we've told a story or two about how United Way has changed lives in our community, it's not hard to get people to give.
Yeah.
It's really not. The hard part is getting the opportunity. So if you're an employer out there, you want to make a difference, you want to help make a difference in your community, and you just don't know what direction to go into, United Way can come in and make it very easy for you. We work hand in hand with all our coordinators, and we'll walk you through the process. And we do. We need more employers. We need more people to participate all the time.
Lux, I wanted to say that for employers that haven't been participating lately or maybe are thinking about it, that there are dividends for their businesses and their employees, because a lot of our agencies will really support their employees. Like we can give stress management workshops or, things that would help serve them. So a lot of our agencies can help, so it's good to be involved and have this relationship, I think.
It never hurts to get into that network of... we call it the community. I'm having
safety
a blank.
Net?
Yes, thank you. It never hurts to be tied into that safety net. And once you're tied into that safety net, then it opens up your employees to all these opportunities for help. If something should occur in their life, whether it be, say they have a loved one who's dealing with cancer, they have a loved one that wants to get fit, a loved one that's looking for more information about heart disease, somebody who's in a dispute and
Right.
needs mediation, whatever it may be, when you connect with United Way, you're going to also be connecting with all these services that are available to not only, you and I, but those employees that you're working with. So,
And speaking of being connected, Pacific Source is connected to us as our sponsor. Thank you.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
And welcome back. We're Maui Nonprofit Notes, talking story with Lox Abraham of Maui United Way, and she's telling us how she kind of enjoys what she does. For those of you,
you got to. You have to enjoy what you do to do
and
what
you
we do,
do.
right?
Yeah.
you
really.
do. And for those who missed the first 20 minutes, she's on it. She is so sold.
Ask me any question. No, I'm just kidding.
So when we were talking a little while ago about getting more companies involved and having their employees do payroll deductions and things, are we talking about large companies, small companies?
That's a good question, Susie. It does not matter what size you are. We work with companies of one employee. Colleen's a donor, and she's a one-employee office. And we work with companies like Maui Electric Company, A&B, HC&S that have hundreds of employees. So we can work with companies of any size. We work with a lot of the resorts here. It doesn't matter. Like we tell our coordinators, every amount matters. Every little penny matters.
Yeah.
Every little penny is going to make a difference. So even if it's just somebody giving $20,
It will add up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it takes a lot of work to get to $1.1 million. Let me tell you.
I can only
vouch for that.
Imagine. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of dollars to be collected to make that happen. But yes, we do get a lot of support from our employee campaign, which is basically about 60% of our campaign. So that's a huge chunk of what we raise. But we also get a lot of support from our individual donors. And then we have our corporate donors. And the last bit that helps us is our foundation givers. So, between those different types of givers, we're able to raise a lot of money every year.
Yeah.
So you started out saying that you're kind of winding down now on this
Yes.
one. So the totals are getting added
Yeah,
up.
we're
and so
done.
forth.
We've actually closed it out this year. So
Then that's when you sit down and decide what money goes where?
actually, the way that we do it, and that's a good question because that's one of the other things that's changed. Traditionally, United Way has allocated or gone through their allocation process once every year. And one of the things that we recognize that this is a huge undertaking, not only for United Way, because by the way, we're not a staff of 50. We have 4 people in our office here. So, we work very hard. And we're trying to find ways of doing things more efficiently and not having to work so hard all the time. And way that we found to free up some of our time is we moved into a funding cycle that's a 2-year funding cycle versus a 1-year funding cycle. So last year was the first year that we did this. And we funded our agencies on a 2-year cycle. The first year is actual numbers, and the second year is based on a projection of where we see campaigning being. And the good news is that because we've raised at least what we raised last year, we're on line with our projection. But the even better news is that our agencies are probably going to receive a slight bit more than they received the first year because the allocations are done on a percentage basis. So that once we have our pot of money, how much money we know that we're going to be giving out to the community, that's allocated on percentage. So,
which is great news.
Yeah.
I mean, when does a nonprofit organization ever get
more
money? Feels like the last
you
10
could
years it's been
possibly
cutting.
get more, but you wouldn't get more than you asked for.
Okay.
So, and we've also seen an increase in our designations this year. So more agencies have gotten designated this year. So I think all in all, like, I couldn't be more thankful that we've bounced back, and we're not dealing with what we were dealing with last year. Because I got to tell you, it's tough when you get those allocation committee volunteers in there, and they look at the final number that they have to work with, and they're like, wait, we have to fund 5 agencies with this? And it's always like, when I hang my head a little, I'm like, I know, but the thing is that, we were actually very lucky, because when the recession hit about 3 years ago, we actually exceeded our goal through the first 2 years of the recession. So we did really well. This last year, I just kind of feel like our luck just ran out. We exhausted every possible bit of luck that we could have used in the first 2 years, and we took our hit. And the nice thing is that, even taking our hit, it gave us a really good indication of where we were as an organization, where our budget needed to be, where our operational costs needed to be. And from here on out, now that we've taken that turn and things are doing better, because we've seen increases in significant campaigns, like the County of Maui is up $10,000 this year. They're up to about $63,000 this year, which is fantastic. And the county and the state of Hawaii campaigns, because they're so large, they're pretty evident of how everybody else is doing. So the county campaign went up, the police station's campaign went up, the fire department's campaign went up. Those are all good signs that the economy is doing better.
Now, do we need to clarify that when we're talking about the county and the state and the police, we're talking about the individuals that work there?
Yes.
The employees,
yes.
not...
employees giving
And when
money,
I talk about employee campaigns, it's very important to understand that this is strictly employee gifts. These are the kind-hearted working people in our community that choose to give back and give their hard-earned dollars to helping people out. So,
which is a great point to clarify.
yeah, thank you
Susie.
for making that point. 'Cause that's always, and they like us to make that point. Make sure everybody understands that.
Right.
There is a huge difference between the employee giving and the corporate giving.
Right. Now, you mentioned, I think, in passing there a little while ago about the special designations.
Yes.
Now, if someone wants to give to United Way, but doesn't particularly want to give to any of these organizations that you've selected or that have asked for money, they can designate whoever?
Yes, we're all about saying yes to our donors. So the bottom line is if you give to United Way, you can give to any 501c3 here on Maui. The money just has to be staying here on Maui. That's what we request. And, you can designate to one of our partner agencies, which are highlighted on all of our pledge cards and all of our literature, or you can give to any 501c3 organization. We have people that give to, Maui High Booster Club, Hawaiian Canoe Club, all their churches. As long as they're a 501c3, we can make it happen.
So that really is the easiest way that you could possibly donate. If you had that specific agency in mind, even though they're not a partner agency, that money will still get to them through Maui United Way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We deal with a lot of designations every year that go to non-partner agencies. So anywhere that you want your money to go, more or less, as long as it's a 501c3 nonprofit, we can direct it for you.
And I think you said that your campaign for this year is already closed.
Yes, we
right?
closed April 30th.
But that doesn't mean that if somebody wants to give money that you're going to say, no, thank you.
It doesn't mean that we ever say no thank you to donations.
That money will just go to next year's campaign.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically our cutoff date for campaign is April 30th, and then everything rolls over into the next campaign year. When you talk about like our campaign window, we work from July through October, heavily like marketing the campaign and the community, and try to encourage as many of our businesses to return their packets within that time. But it doesn't always work out that way, and we understand that. A lot of our businesses have to do campaigns at specific times of the year, and you know what? We're going to work with you to do that. So
that's great.
Any way that we can make it possible for you and your employees to give back, we will.
And I think you said about 500 volunteers.
Yes,
that you
we
work
would
with?
not be able to do what we do each year without the support of close to 500 volunteers every year.
And that's just working on the Maui United Way campaign.
Yeah.
So all the partner agencies that are supported by Maui United Way also have their...
That's a very good point, Max.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much volunteer time and sweat and hours go into supporting nonprofits.
Yeah.
If we could like collectively show that number, I think it would have an astounding effect on how people look at nonprofits. But yes, I mean, our ability as nonprofits to utilize and mobilize volunteers is just absolutely profound, especially here on Maui. People are not only very generous, but they're so willing to give their time. I mean, just like this weekend, I think a lot of us in the room are participating in the Maui Hotel Association's charity walk.
Yeah, charity walk.
And we'll be out there in full force. We're actually still looking for walkers. If anybody's interested in walking with United Way, you get a free Live United t-shirt, and you can come out and walk for a great cause. But, yep, a lot of us will be there at 7 a.m. on the dot.
Where?
It's at War Memorial Stadium.
That's the kickoff.
Yes.
Yep. And then there's I think it's a 3-mile loop that you can go.
Is it actually 3 miles?
It might be a little bit less, but it goes through Wailuku and a little bit in Kahului, and you can go as fast or as slow as you want. Some people run it, I think, and are done by 7:40, and other people.
I didn't realize it was 3 miles.
I think it is. I don't know. Okay. Don't quote me on that. Don't put me on live radio or anything.
Yeah, right. Catch it. Too late.
We just lost 100 volunteers. Thanks to Max.
I just wanted to add that, when I'm talking about mental health, that one of the things that's so good for our mental health is to help others.
Yes, absolutely.
It makes us feel good about ourselves, and then we're just happier people.
Absolutely. And the charity walk is such a great event because it's, what was it last year? Maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people all out together.
Close to that, yeah.
Yeah, and
on one day.
It's amazing, and everyone's, feeling good that they're helping their community, and then you have all of the hotel companies that are putting food stands up there, and entertainment and prizes.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Maui Hotel Association. Over the last couple of years, they've just done an outstanding job. They actually raise more money on Maui than they do on Oahu.
Yeah.
I always got to plug that fact.
Yeah,
and they do a phenomenal job, mobilizing people and getting them out there and raising a tremendous amount of money to support the community.
Right. And between all the different hotel chains, it's like a competition of the employees that can raise the most amount of money.
Well, that's the key. They have the hotels behind them.
Yeah.
And, that's a strong force. Being able to mobilize the hotels behind them to support this event is one of the key factors that makes it really, really successful. So.
Right. And clarification that I'd like to make that some people have been confused that money goes to the nonprofits in Maui County. That doesn't go to support the hotel industry.
That's a good point to make. They do this to support, I want to say it's close to 70-plus agencies, I think they work with here in the community. I'm sorry, I don't know the exact facts, but I know that they service a lot of agencies all at one time.
Yeah.
And the great thing about it is they empower these organizations to go out and, get sponsorships. I know that we did it in our office. We raised close to $700. But go out and get sponsorships. You turn that money in, you go and you walk, and then they match it up to a certain percentage.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you just got to raise a little bit of money, and they're going to give you a little bit more.
Right.
I mean, what better thing can you do to raise money as a nonprofit?
What return on investment, huh?
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, that's real.
Instant turnaround.
Yeah. And then I also have to point out, as I'm checking my time,
Don't worry about it.
I've gone over.
Don't worry about it.
I just want to make a point that there's also another big volunteer event going on Saturday afternoon. The Maui Food Bank, the AFL-CIO National Letter Carriers Food Drive is on Saturday. So don't forget to put your cans out by the post office box or by your mailbox, and your friendly post office man or woman will pick up the cans and take them to the food bank. But it's our biggest drive of the year. We always raise a tremendous amount of food for the food bank, and it's what carries them through the summertime, because as I'm sure most of you know, summer is one of the bare times on their shelves, and we really need to pull together as a community and make sure that, put out your box of cereal or your can of Spam or whatever it may be. Even if it's just one can, put something out there. And we are still looking for volunteers for Saturday afternoon. We'll be out there with our AFL-CIO Labor Community Services program, and we will be sorting food and packing it and putting it away for the food bank as the mail trucks are bringing it in. So if anybody's interested in volunteering, we are looking for volunteers at 4 o'clock on Saturday afternoon for the food bank.
Where?
You can call our office. We'll put you in touch with Lena Staten, who's our labor liaison, and she's coordinating the whole effort. But it's 244-8787. And like I said, we're still looking for volunteers. So if you got some free time on Saturday afternoon, come out and help us pack some food. It's actually a lot of fun. It goes really quickly, and you'd be amazed at how much food goes through that place on that one day.
On Saturday, support your community in all aspects. Walk in the morning, help Maui Food Bank in the afternoon.
I'll be at both.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And so this is a really crucial time because summer is a bleak time for some families whose children may get school lunches or school breakfasts, and they really need food.
The sad thing is, for a lot of kids out there, going to school is the only place that they get meals. For some of them, the only place that they get to eat. So during the summertime, when the parents are working and there's no food and the pantry's bare, these kids are not getting the nutrition, and they're actually not eating as well as they would be during the school year. So the need for food in our community goes way up during the summertime because, the kids are home and they got to eat.
Right.
And they're not getting fed at school at that time. So, the food does fly off the shelves a lot quicker during the summer.
Yeah.
And I know right now, this is always the time where the food bank gets to where, their shelves are a little bit more bare. So this is why we do this food drive at this time of year, to help pull them through the rest of the summer and into the fall. So very important.
And so many of us think about the food drives in the fall and at Christmas, the holidays, so forth. But during the summer, we're busy thinking about ourselves and our vacations and our family plans, etc.
The food bank's very strategic about where they place their food drives, and they do them year-round, but the big one, NALC Food Drive with the post office, is one of the biggest food drives they do, and it happens nationwide. It's nationwide on this one day. So, again, make sure that you put at least something out there. Anything non-perishable, that's anything that's packaged or canned, will go to helping a lot of people out in our community. So
that really would depend on the food bank.
Don't forget to put your food out on Saturday.
Yes.
And make it handy for the mail driver.
Yeah, please, put it
to
in.
pick it up.
Well, we don't have plastic bags anymore, so
that's true. You can't hook it on the side.
Put it in a paper bag.
Yeah, right next to that mailbox, or if you've got a street, driving
if you
mail
leave it,
person.
if you leave it anywhere visible around your mailbox, they should grab it. They're going to be looking for them. Yeah. Yes, and to keep in mind, the food bank supports a lot of the nonprofits here on Maui. So you're not just giving to the food bank, you're not just giving back to our community. The food bank helps to support a number of nonprofits in our community and carry out the programs that we need to help people here in Maui. So it helps in many different ways.
Yeah.
Terrific. She's just as excited about that as she is her work.
She's just an excitable person in general.
It all fits. It's just go, girl. Yeah. That's terrific. Okay.
Well, thank you guys. Yeah, I know I've taken up too much time, but
no.
Thanks for the opportunity, and always wonderful to sit down and talk with the two of you.
So. Thank you. And we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back with Colleen O'Shea Wallace.
Aloha from Pacific Source, and thank you for your support over the years. Pacific Source has offered more of what builders and homeowners value most in building materials and cabinet design. We've done this by offering superior customer service and products, as well as by designing kitchens and baths that are intelligent and elegant while staying true to your vision and budget. Visit our showroom in Waikapu in Central Maui, where we display a variety of cabinets as well as top-name appliances like Sub-Zero, Wolf, Viking, KitchenAid, and more. We display countertops, tile and wood flooring, and several brands of windows and doors, including Fleetwood multi-slides and La Cantina folding doors. Come in and talk to our designers about making your dreams become a reality. From concept to completion, we really believe our attention to detail and superior service are what sets us apart. Let us show you what we mean. We are a Pacific Source at 515 East Oahe Way in the Consolidated Base Yard in Waikapu, just off Waiko Road. Call us at 986-0380. That's 986-0380, or look us up online at packsource.com.
Aloha, and we're back. That was quite an experiment there with Locks touching on the other two nonprofit activities, and of all the nonprofits involved in both those activities.
Yeah, but it was good to hit because it's coming up, just this weekend. So,
right.
Both of them are very important.
For anybody who's kind of wandering around in Wailuku or Kahului by the War Memorial Stadium and going, what are all these people doing?
Yeah.
Now you know.
That's true. That's true. 6:45 in the morning.
Can they come in and sign up that morning?
I think so, yeah. They should be able to either sign up in general that morning. I think most walkers are affiliated with an organization of some sort, and for example, for mediation services, we have our list of walkers, and we're going to turn that in on Saturday morning.
Okay. But if somebody just happens to decide Friday afternoon that they've got time and they want to do it, they could probably go down and ask, "Where's the group for mediation services? We want to be on their team."
Yeah, absolutely. If you really wanted to walk with mediation services, the actual charity walk starts at 7 o'clock at War Memorial, and we'll be meeting at the Cameron Center parking lot, which is kind of just across the street, at 6:45 to coordinate everybody and then just walk over.
There's probably some others from Cameron Center that are organizing there too. Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So-
if you're filling out your own forms late and giving a donation, you want to get the number of the nonprofit on it, so that if you want your donation to go to that
to
nonprofit.
count for,
Right.
for them.
Right.
Terrific. Great. Colleen, tell us about mental health.
Month?
Oh, yeah, that's right. May is Mental
Mental
Health Month.
and that's
right?
why you wanted me to come
There you
now.
go.
So it's lovely to be on the radio show again. It's so much fun with you folks. Well, first I'll just mention stress, because we know none of us have stress,
Oh, no,
right?
no.
Never. But in the meantime, while we're not having it,
There are many who do.
Humor is one of the biggest
There we
antidotes,
go.
But anyway, laughter is huge. Talk it out. Discuss your problems with a friend or an adult that you trust. To work it off, get active through sports, walking, dancing, any physical exercise that makes you feel good. Accept the things you can't change. Don't get frustrated by trying to change things that you just can't control. Work on the things you can.
That's a pretty good point.
And don't depend on alcohol or drugs, because they might help you feel better for a while, but in the end, they do cause more stress. Alcohol and marijuana are both depressants, so in the long run, they'll cause you to be more depressed if you're, people get depressed with the economy and things now, so you want to stay
Absolutely.
away from those.
Yeah.
Don't try to be perfect. Nobody is. So pick the things you like and do those things well enough.
Aha, there you go.
And give yourself credit for
do
things
your
that
best.
yeah.
And pat yourself on the back,
Yeah.
for what you've done and feel good about that. Watch what you eat. Good eating habits do help you fight stress. Take a break. Leave your problems for a bit. Read a book, see a movie, or play a game.
That's a very good one. That's one of the things I find the game playing, or Max is laughing because we had this game we played at a ED gathering a few weeks ago, and everybody goes, "This is a silly little game," but I think we all left there really stress free.
Yeah, it was fun, kind of broke the ice, and it just lightens the mood a little bit.
Yeah, for
so
a
it's
few
good.
minutes. Yeah, even though we were all EDs, the thing we had in common was that we were enjoying ourselves and like you say, relaxed and took off from there in a good mood, and probably talked about it for days. We're still talking about it. It's been
Clearly,
probably been a month now.
And years
But they
ago,
do.
I remember, because our board chair went to the mainland, and I found out about the Scrabble games online. So we played. It was years ago. So that's the way we kept in touch. We played Scrabble all summer. It was so much fun.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So anyway, so you want to get plenty of rest. Lack of sleep makes it hard to deal with stress. And then do something for others. I mentioned that earlier if you've been listening the whole time. It will help you forget your own troubles, and it'll make you feel better, too, to help others.
And actually helping others makes you realize in a lot of ways how lucky you actually are. You might feel bad about a particular something in your life, but when you work with somebody that has a lot more needs than you might, you get a different perspective on your own situation.
You think,
or
oh
more
my
serious, more serious.
Yeah, right.
That problem we've got is nothing compared to what these people are going through. Let's help them.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you just think, oh my goodness, and I was complaining
Yeah.
about this, you
Right,
know?
right.
And that person really, and then you really feel like those people are heroes. And
Yeah.
you really respect them for dealing, with their lives and doing their best in that situation.
Absolutely.
And you want to, and then another thing that helps you with stress is to make a change, like maybe try a new hobby, get a pet, do something you enjoy that you haven't been doing, or find out what you enjoy and start doing those things. And then also you want to be a good problem solver. So you want to pick the problems you can solve.
Kind of be realistic.
Yeah, you want to. Yeah, instead of I have this sign in my office. SHOULD, don't should on myself. I won't do that today, or I won't, tell other people they should. People who, you're not fun to be around if you're like that, and usually people who do that are hard on themselves, and then you're not mentally healthy or enjoying life. So anyway, you want to be a good problem solver for yourself. Choose your own problems. Choose the ones you can solve. And work on them, break them down into baby steps. Don't expect too much of yourself every day. And then do something you feel good about after you've done something toward solving that.
Stress is one of the isolators for people, isn't it? I mean, you get to a point, some of these things that you've mentioned, it's like you're dwelling so much on yourself and what's going on in your life. Everything takes on humongous proportions.
Yeah, or just... when, like you said, when you isolate yourself, you just, it becomes more and more of, you can kind of hermit
right.
yourself, and you just get wrapped up in that negativity. And when you bring other people into your life, there's sources of hope or sources of positive energy or whatever, and it really can help pull you out of that funk.
Right.
I'm so glad you brought that up, because stress is one symptom of depression, or it can help bring on depression. And depression is sort of I call it like a downward spiral of negative thinking. It gets you pulled down, and then you do isolate. It's kind of a disease of isolation. Yeah. Just like using drugs or alcohol can be a disease of isolation too. And so when, what's good for you is being around people, but don't expect to, this is, don't, SHOULD, don't should on yourself. Yeah. Don't expect to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps. Have you ever tried that? Do you know what happens?
You
fall down. Yes.
I have a visual here going on. Okay.
So, do reach out. And I know it's hard, because when you're really stressed, you don't have time. You feel like it's going to add more stress. Or if you're feeling depressed, you don't want to what you want to do, we have a children's mental health poster contest it's our kickoff event for Mental Health Month. And it's a part of a curriculum where the kids get a chance to learn countywide, things to do for their mental health from kindergarten on up through 5th grade. We had 800 this year participate in the county and 1,000 the year before. And, we hope a lot of children will, because as adults, it's the same thing that we want to do, is we want to identify the people, places, and things that nurture us, the people, places, and things that make us feel good in our life. Keep a little list of them in your back pocket. When you're feeling down, you can look at that, and it'll change your brain chemistry, But for the children, they draw pictures to depict it, so it will show that they're learning, and they've learned that lesson, and that they can, as they go along, start to choose those positive people, places, and things. And then that'll make for healthy development. And the research shows you don't focus on the negative things, all the don'ts and no's. But what you do is you focus on the positive things, and you just fill your life up with as many of those as you have, whatever is nurturing. And who you feel good after you've been with that person.
Yeah,
you know that.
I think that's a good kind of litmus test, if you feel better after being with somebody, or you feel drained after being with somebody, and making that call based on that.
You've heard people say, it just sucks the life right out of me.
Yeah.
To be around that person or around that atmosphere.
And everybody, and people, you don't want to judge other people by your own values, because that never works.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody grows up in their own family, which is like their own culture, and somebody who's draining to you may be great for somebody else.
Be.
Absolutely.
But, so the thing is, though, become aware of those people and those places that you like to go. You can even go to the beach in your mind, if you take a break at work,
Sure.
Yeah.
And the things that you like to do, or, what you have, hobbies you have, or whatever that make you feel good. And you want to collect those in your life. And when things get tough for you, either the economy, because that's where you want to have your relationship collateral. That's a collateral you can have.
When you were just talking, it reminded me of this might sound a little trite, but I also didn't hear it on your list of just breathing. Just taking a minute, like you said, envisioning the beach in your mind while you're at work, or just like taking a couple of deep breaths to clear your head and get oxygen into the rest of your body, and it makes a difference. Even though it might sound a little trite or new agey or
No,
whatever.
it's very important.
Yeah.
But I remember back as a kid, I had this one friend in school that just hated to go home because they said that there was so much tension at home. Everybody was always snapping at each other, and just no harmony, no fun, no environment of enjoyment of any kind.
Oh, sounds like my child. No, I'm just kidding.
And they,
We know
they,
he doesn't have one.
they were always out trying to, find a place where they felt they fit in, or where they could, to some extent, even be just appreciated for being a person,
Yeah.
because they didn't feel that at home. As
Yeah.
they said, when they got a good grade, it wasn't good enough,
Yeah.
or all these kinds of things. And it was like, wow. But I look at this person today, and they are fabulous. I mean, they kind of my hero.
Yeah.
Mentor type, whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
because they came from that and grew into such a fabulous person, helping so many people in everything they do. And they're not in the nonprofit world; they're in the for-profit world. But they spent all of their time working with other people and other kids to make sure they don't have the life they had back.
Have a better life. Well, and think of the difference you probably made in that person's life, because the studies show that if a child has one significant, maybe an adult or somebody, in their life, or could be a friend that's having, that has a really at-risk background, it can just turn their life around, and that's what made the difference.
Don't realize what you're doing for them.
Yeah.
Just
By being you
there.
and being positive and enjoying life with them.
Right. There were times when it was kind of hard to be around that person, but yet you knew. They wanted to be involved in all kinds of things, and that was great. So, but yeah, I keep every once in a while I think, gee, what could have happened?
Oh yeah,
Luckily it didn't.
And there's so many, people that I know that have had, gone through horrible experiences, and you kind of give them credit for that. But the people that can come through that and still be positive and make a positive change in other people's lives, that is, really impressive and, kind of heroic actually.
And for most of them, they don't realize what they really have done.
Right.
And what kind of an attitude they're portraying to the rest of the world, and how people look to them and say, wow.
Yeah. You never know the type of difference you make on other people.
That's true.
And a smile can make a huge difference. It can change your whole brain chemistry. And
Yeah.
you can help other people change theirs,
That's
too.
right.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
kind of, I was reading somewhere that even if you don't feel like smiling, the physical
Takes less
movement
muscle.
Yes.
of smiling does, I
Change
think
your
you're
brain
right.
chemistry.
Yeah. All right, so Colleen, somebody calls Mental Health of America of Hawaii, Maui branch, and gets you on the phone. What kind of service can they expect? Is it kind of like just talking through your problems? Are you referring people to other agents?
People call for all sorts of reasons. They might want to volunteer, because they have a little time on their hands, or they want to give back. And so we have many different projects, so we'll try to find something that's coming up that they would enjoy, because I feel that's where you want to put volunteers, is in places that they enjoy.
Yeah.
And then their strengths come out. But they may call because, they're upset, or they have a friend who's having a problem, or a family member. They may call because they need counseling. They may call us by accident when they're trying to call a state agency that's in the front of the phone book and we're in the white pages.
Uh-huh.
But, I will always answer the phone or return their call, because there isn't any eligibility for that, and spend time listening and helping them, decide what would be a way to address whatever their need is, and, making several options in helping them, maybe make a little action plan so they know, several options, steps to getting there, and then, they know they can call me back, or I may check back with them to see, did you get through to that doctor? Because they can be really hard to get through to, and try to tell people, leave this message, like, I have this insurance. Do you take it? Because otherwise that's the thing now. You have to have certain health insurances, and there are so many different ones, and the doctors can't all afford to take every one, and it's a lot of paperwork, and sometimes claims get turned down. It's tough times,
Yeah.
for finding help. So it takes some creativity
Yeah.
to find it. But, there are a lot of resources. I think we have fewer resources because it's a neighbor island, but I also feel that we have more because we work together so closely, all of us in this community. And,
Yeah.
so I think we can find ways to get help for just about anyone, and support groups and a number of different levels of ways of getting help that can support you. So for you or a family member or a friend, and, we have support groups too. And, and so
Okay.
we have things that we offer or, and then for the teachers to participate in the poster contest. And we do police training. And we have our brown bags. Oh, yeah, I should
I wanted
announce
to ask you about your brown
coming
bag.
up one. The coming up one is, they're usually on the first Tuesday.
Okay.
So it's in June. It's June 5th on substance abuse, addiction, and mental illness. And they're, a brown bag at noon. This one's at the Cameron Center in Wailuku. And it's just an hour so people can, if they want to come on their lunch hour or something, bring their own lunch. And then on July 3rd, we have Dr. Frieder, who's a licensed clinical psychologist and certified Imago relationship therapist, who used to be on this radio station and had,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
yeah, and so she gives great workshops, and she did one for us last year, and this one will be called Giving Healing Love. So the first Tuesday in July, and it'll be right next door with a Maui Economic Opportunity Head Start because they wanted their families and their workers to be able to go. So it'll be right next door to the Cameron Center at the, MEO building, and their classroom 1. And it's called Giving Healing Love. And she uses this model. And if it's like last time, people get to practice and demonstrate it. And it's really exciting. And then, the first Tuesday in August, we're going to have we call it a brown bag, like a workshop, on ADHD.
Oh.
Except for, did I bring my calendar in for what is the first Tuesday in August? Because that one will be at the Cameron Center as well. And there's, an auditorium, so you
Okay.
can just come.
So it's always the first Tuesday.
Well, yes, but once in a while, like maybe we skipped one because we were busy with our poster contest event.
So call. What's the number to call?
242-6461.
242-6461.
Yeah, that's me. Call 242-6461, and if I don't answer directly, I will call you back, and we can leave messages back and forth till we figure out what you need.
Okay.
And August 7th is the ADHD brown bag, by the way.
You have a dinner coming up. We don't have that much time, but
Well, that's tomorrow, but you know what? We still can probably take a couple more people. So if you really want to come to our dinner with the mayor tomorrow night, Thursday, on the 10th, it's at the Maui Tropical Plantation, and you can call me 242-6461. And if a couple people show up at the door at 5:30, it probably wouldn't be terrible. There's going to be good food and great entertainment and company.
that's great, and that's with the mayor, yeah?
Yes.
That's great. So, thank you, Colleen, and thank you, Lox, for leaving already, but thanks for joining us today on Maui Nonprofit Notes. This show is sponsored as a community service by Pacific Source, the builder's choice. If you are building or remodeling your home, please stop by their showroom in the Waikapu Base Yard. The Maui Nonprofit Directors Association's mission is to provide personal and professional support to nonprofit executive directors, their organizations, and the community of Maui.
And we encourage everyone out there to get involved by giving, advocating, or volunteering for your favorite nonprofit. Mahalo for tuning in, and don't forget to join us next week again right here on KAOI 1110 a.m. and 96.7 when we'll feature 2 more agencies. Hey, Max, it's been terrific having you as my co-host.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, we love this, and we love having you all out there listening to us. And Gary's saying, we're pushing the time limit. Say goodbye, Susie. Say goodbye, Max.
Goodbye. Mahalo for listening.
Aloha, everyone. Have a great week.